Well, hello everyone, and what a busy week it's been. How are you doing? Good to see you all here. In a second, let me turn this down a bit. So the wildfires continue in Canada and in the U.S., seeming more in the U.S. at the moment. I don't know if the fire bugs have migrated, but it's pretty smoky out here today. I'll give you the weather report, straight on, head on view. Let me just bring me up here. So we can see smoke to the hills. Over there, the hills are supposed to be visible. Um, there is a huge escarpment back there between the buildings that you can't see because of all the smoke. So it's terrible weather here. Disgusting to breathe. Let's see who's here tonight so far to share in this the smudgening. We have James Ortiz. How you doing? Fulcrum Integrity Lighthouse. Hi, Paula. Jargo Smith. How you doing, buddy? To see ya. Beloved. Sip good water. Yeah, I changed my water now. I'm drinking different water. Hey, Lucky Stone, how are you doing? Good to see ya. Nice night for smudging. Absolutely. Every night's a good night for smudging. It slices, it dices. Smudge-o-matic. Yes. How you doing, Scotty boy? I live in the Canadian projects. Yeah, I do, kind of, in a way. It's an interesting place up here. But yeah, let me see. Where was that? I was gonna. That's not it. Show you guys the wildfires, at least as far as I've got them recently. Actually, Fulcrum Integrity Lighthouse got some of the most accurate. So I'll show it. The thing with the fires is it comes in waves. The smoke, so it ebbs and flows, which is annoying, but that's what it does. So we're stuck with it for a while, at least for the summer, probably. Well, that didn't work. Yeah, let's replay that. Tell me why Canada barely has any air quality problems. Well, we do. That's a falsehood. It's just that that part of Canada, let me replay that again. The part of Canada that I'm in is in the purple zone down here. I live in this area right down here, just in the middle of that circle of red. Maybe I can zoom in on it. There we go, a little bit. But anyways, I live in that little circle of red there. I'm in the middle of that circle, which is just a small part of Canada, but it's important to me because I live here. So, hi, Dolly. Hi, Danny. Good to see y'all. Horses and wild cards. Hey, Spartano. How you doing? We have prayers for Canada. Thank you. Most of these fires are in Ontario right now and up into Quebec, but there's some in looks like Michigan, Illinois. So they're just starting them up everywhere. I haven't heard that song in a while. Sharon's calling wildfire. Mi vida loca. I'm a wild desert rose. Nice. We're going to bitch about the world around us and complain about the government. Then we're going to smudge it all away, and hopefully somebody will wake up and tired. Drink some good water. I recently switched from reverse osmosis water to distilled, and distilled but mineralized. I have a mineral stick to put in it. We all feel the cold, even in the heat. Yeah. So let's do a smudge. I'm going to use some Palo Santo, Santo Palo, whichever it is. The nice smelling wood. That was wrong. Haven't seen you in a while, Spartan or Danny. Has been away. Good to see you back. My wife loves that song, Scotty Boy. 105 here now. Nice. I do like the heat. So we talk about the news and shit, and we do the smudgening. Send out with the smoke and the wildfires. Hopefully, some of this information will reach people and they'll realize that they've been lied to and deceived. And we'll wake up and want to do something about it. Put a little bit of energy into that. Then we'll begin the bitching. There's so much to bitch about. Pasta time. I don't do pasta. I don't know why. Just don't like it. So chewy and I don't know. Waffles for dinner. There you go. In the desert, you can't remember your name because there ain't no one to give you no pain. You've been working on way too much lately? Awesome. Well, I hope you're making content and check if you're modded and you can put your channel up again for any people who make content. Please tell me if you're not modded and I'll mod you up so you can share your channel. Yeah, you're modded. Okay. All right. You want to share your channel if you're making content? That'd be awesome. All right. So the Canadian wildfires still raging. It's that's just going to happen. So we have coming up. You guys have your 4th of July. We have Dominion Day. It's actually called Canada Day. Can't tell. I'm going through 45 heat waves. Bio warfare. Yeah. I reduced my carbs and pasta. Huge source of carbs. Yeah. Let's clear up some of that smoke. Yeah, that'd be a good idea. The rain was through today, so and then after the rain we got smoke. It wasn't a lot of rain. So Dominion Day, sovereignty or control, man's attempt to establish dominion over nature, or dominion, the territory of a sovereign or government. Kind of ties into being your sovereign citizen type thing. Hi G, how you doing? Hi Indigroove. I didn't say hi. Just thinking about the bikers in the Tour de France. Yeah. Oh, they should be all right. Are there wild? There are wildfires over there too, though, aren't there? Yeah, right. The realist. I heard that as well. We probably should out here. Not that they'd really do much good. Friday night booty shake. I don't. That doesn't sound appealing there. Doing good, G. Hope you're doing well. 59 tomorrow. Awesome, Dolly. Congratulations. Spaghetti squash pasta. Oh, okay. And garlic. That sounds good. I love spaghetti squash. Love any squash, pretty much. Happy birthday, Dolly. I think London Man will be tomorrow, and one of her friends. There's quite a few people born coming up. So is that an actual booty shake there, Indy? Or what is it? What do we got here? Oh, okay. This is all PG. All right. It's an hour and 36 minutes. Okay. Got some strobe happening there. Trying to induce some seizures or what? Look at all the instruments, right? 110 tomorrow. Nice. My mixes. Excellent. Okay. Oh, let me stop that. So go and listen to Indie Groove. Got some good mixes. I'm on an epilepsy machine, right? That's a long boot shake, yeah. Tomorrow is July, huh? Yeah. Yeah. 31, I'll be 45. Nice. On the 31st? Is there a 31st of this month? I forget. Today's the 30th, so. Got to buy some apple juice to make some wine with. I'm going to make some honey wine tonight. That's going to be what I do. Oh, yeah. Here's some other good Canadian news. Got to keep you guys updated on what shit's happening in Canada. Bill C-18. So Google and Meta are going to block Canadian news to Canada because they'll have to pay for it.
Stage need to gain back the control of the distribution of information. However, their bold attempt at a takeover of the internet was recently halted when the PIPA and SOPA bills were shelved as a direct result of the online community raising awareness about those bills, which led to massive boycotts and blackouts. But while all this was going on, the even more troublesome ACTA treaty was quietly being pushed through by the powers that be. ACTA stands for the Anti-Counterfeiting Trade Agreement. Drafting this treaty has been an ongoing process over the last 4 years, and each and every meeting has been done behind closed doors. There may come a time very soon where we may not necessarily have the ability to spread information the way that we do right now. So again, if anything, this should be a wake-up call to people that you want to get involved in the fight against the New World Order, now is the time to do it, because the internet may not be as free and open as we see it now. So let's use this double-edged sword. Let's use the system to fight the system while we still can. This is the mainstream media trying to wipe out their competition so that the oligarchy can continue to maintain the status quo.
Dan, if we look at free speech, is Facebook violating free speech by banning accounts?
Well, that's an interesting question, because that raises the topic of whether or not they are a private company, or if they're a public company, or if they're quasi-private. I am of the opinion that I'm not going to lobby, for any kind of internet regulation bill. I don't want them to be regulated. I don't want them to be removed from the internet. I would like to see the free market decide what to do with Facebook by choosing to just migrate off the platform, boycott it, if you will, and to move over to these other platforms that do support free speech. Platforms like Steemit.com, like BitChute.com, like Minds.com, like DTube. There are a lot of alternative platforms that are popping up now as a result of the censorship of free speech. So I think it's not only a troubling time, but we're at a bit of a fork in the road where it's also an exciting time too. We could see the free market present itself and some really awesome alternative platforms begin to arise. And I'm going to be joining all of them as a hedge against this outright censorship that we're going to be seeing from Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, all the major conglomerates.
And here it is.
This is Dan Dix here reporting for Press for Truth. And I hate to say I told you so, folks, but...
What kind of person to say I told us so? But you know what? I told us so. I told us so.
The government has been trying to block the free flow of information online for years now. First, it was SOPA, the Stop Online Piracy Act, but we saw that exactly for what it was, and we blocked it. Then it was ACTA, the Anti-Counterfeiting Trade Agreement, but we saw that for exactly what it was and blocked it. Then it was CISPA, the Cyber Intelligence Sharing and Protection Act, blocked it. This goes on like this for years and years until eventually we arrive right here in Canada with Bill C-10, and then eventually Bill C-11, and now Bill C-18, which is the Online News Act, which actually just became law last week on June 22nd. This just in from Meta, changes to news availability on our platforms in Canada. Today, we are confirming that news availability will be ended on Facebook and Instagram for all users in Canada prior to the Online News Act, Bill C-18, taking effect. We have repeatedly shared that in order to comply with Bill C-18, passed today in Parliament, content from news outlets, including news publishers and broadcasters, will no longer be available to people accessing our platforms in Canada. Then Google followed suit with this. An update on Canada's Bill C-18 and our search and news products. Bill C-18 has become law and remains unworkable. The government has not given us reason to believe that the regulatory process will be able to resolve structural issues with the legislation. As a result, we have informed the government that we have made the difficult decision that when the law takes effect, we will be removing links to Canadian news from our search, news, and discover products and will no longer be able to operate Google News Showcase in Canada. So the Canadian government wants to force Meta, which is Facebook and Instagram, and Google to pay for merely sharing links to other news sites. So Meta and Google responded by saying, okay, fine, Canada, no news for you. So why is this significant, you might be asking? Well, times have changed in terms of how people consume information. Most people get their news from online sources now because the internet destroyed the monopoly on information, a monopoly on information that was once only held by the major TV networks and the printing presses. Well, the internet at one point put an end to that by democratizing access to information. And over the years, governments have been trying to undermine this fundamental principle of freedom. And Bill C-18 does just that by attempting to require payments for links. As Canadian legal scholar Michael Geist recently said, this outcome was both predictable and entirely avoidable. In the case of Bill C-18, Meta never strayed from the position that the bill rendered Canadian news uneconomic on its platforms and that it would stop news sharing in response. This was never about paying for the use of news articles, since Facebook doesn't actually post full news articles. Its users do the posting, and even then, only post links that send the traffic back to the original source. Had the government listened to anyone other than media lobbyists, it would have considered alternatives, such as a fund model that would have avoided payments for links, concerns about press independence, as well as risks to trade and copyright obligations. But in a process that initially even tried to exclude Meta from appearing before committee, there was no room for dissenting views. And now there will be no room for Canadian news on the world's leading social media platform as part of the government's Made in Canada internet. So at this point, you might be asking or wondering to yourself, Dan, aren't you worried right now that you might soon be shut down yourself and people will no longer have access to your information? And the answer is no, I'm not worried. That's because I've been taking all the right precautions all along the way.
It's not
By
what we're
joining
raging
websites
about today,
like
Toss.
Bastion. Screw Google, screw Facebook, and to hell with YouTube. They've all failed epically. We need to use and promote the platforms that are not under their control. So guys, if you haven't already, be sure you subscribe to me on the following platforms: Rumble.
So Canadian news is going to be censored. Will be like China. You won't be able to get the news except if people like us put it up. And who knows how far they're going to take this. We could be the next thing they label news. Who knows what other bills they got. But this is coming for everyone, I think. As we know, Canada and Australia and other countries, we're all testing grounds. Yeah, I think we'll still be able to talk. Yeah, right. Yeah, we'll be able to talk. The only thing is, if I don't know if I start telling you guys about news, are they going to do something? Are they going to shut me down for spreading misinformation or disinformation or malinformation, true information that is used in a harmful way? So here's more horror from Canada.
Last Monday's Toronto mayoralty by-election,
We had a mayoral election in Toronto,
with a staggering
and
102 candidates vying for the mayor's chair.
listen to
Well,
this.
like any election, there are winners and there are losers. The big winner, of course, is Olivia Chow for prevailing, but one must wonder, given Olivia Chow's leanings, given her tax and spend ways,
This is a
the
horror.
big loser
You
the
have
city
no
of
idea.
Toronto itself. And joining me now from True North is the former Toronto Sun columnist for many decades who covered City Hall brilliantly, and that would be Sue-Ann Levy. Sue-Ann, thank you so much for your time today.
Oh, you're welcome, Dave.
So this lady here, Olivia Chow, born in China, married to Jack Layton, a NDP politician in Canada, and now she's the mayor of Canada's biggest city, Toronto. What's that? Rex Bear. Yeah, don't call it right. This is all hypothetical. This information is for, oh yeah, that's right. It's all hypothetical for entertainment purposes only. That's right. Oddly enough, my dad was into sales as a bullshit artist. Okay. So yeah, this is a horror for Canada because she is she was born in China. I don't know about her schooling and that, but she was out there in her, yeah, right. She was out there for the gay pride. She's an environmentalist, so total globalist. Christian nationalists or Nazis, absolutely, Toth. Google told who off, Spartano? Yeah. Oh, yeah. The Canadian government. Yeah, the Canadian government is just going right downhill. Now, I have no confidence in elections at the moment because of Olivia Chow winning. This is a totally contrived win for her, I believe. It could be that she won, but I don't think so. So yeah, probably because this is all hypothetical, she could be a Chinese national. She was born and I believe she lived in China for quite a while. Let me check up Olivia Chow bio. I like doing this stuff live with you guys. Where was Olivia Chow born? Olivia Chow was born in Hong Kong. Interesting. Not quite in China. At the time, it would have been independent. That's interesting. When did Olivia Chow come to Canada? Born in Hong Kong, Chow emigrated to Canada at the age of 13. After all the formative years. And graduated from the University of Guelph with a degree in fine art. Well, that makes her perfect to be a politician, right? She's in need of a bowl cut, yeah. That's right. All that nationalist stuff. Pride Month is over. Oh, no, it's Pride Summer, my friend. That's what I heard. It's a summer of pride. What's wrong with Pride Month? It's a summer of pride, so we're not stopping. What's that? Let's see. Let's show Isabella playing a little bit of music. For Richie the Clown. Yeah, I heard a bit of this earlier.
But that's over now.
I'm going to forward a little bit. Nice guitar.
Goodbye.
I think there are 100. My wife said there are 147 days dedicated to the transgender community, or LGBT, the queer folk, the queer community, I guess. When's straight month? Never. Everyone gives a thumbs up. Go over and watch Morgan later. Yeah, right? All holidays are fake. Well, not all of them. That was the midwinter. We used to have purpose because we were farmers. Yeah, I don't know what. Now they've changed it again, Spartan. It's not that anymore. I'm against all holidays, right? Hi, Edna. What they do with the pencil, the right screenplay and the script, yeah. It's Bruce Lee. All right. That's awesome, Morgan. I'll have to listen to the rest of that later. Let's see, where are we here? All right. Not my problem. Yes, Clowns Richie the Barber. Yes, you got it. Fast forward a bit to get to the bananas. What? What? Get to the bananas. What are you talking about? Okay, let's see what the bananas are. Okay, I'll forward a bit. Let's see when he starts, maybe 4 minutes. Hold on, he lights his smoke. You know, he's going to go nuts after that. Okay. It's coming. He's going to go bananas. Did I miss him? It gets progressive. Okay. Oh, there we go. Now it's going bananas. All right, there we go. We hit the bananas.
Bananas, ripe bananas, ripe bananas. Come, Mr. Jollyman, tear me banana. Come, Mr. Jollyman, tear me banana, yeah.
Right on.
Ripe bananas,
I've never heard it sung that way.
and you come. Chiquito, see too strong.
That's awesome. Uh-oh. Somebody set Toth off. He's been triggered. Look out, everyone. Okay, where were we here? Okay, so Olivia Chow. Okay, so let's move on from poor Canada. We're dying up here. We're just dying. Hi, James Ortiz. Good to see you. So we have more fun. U.S. supports Kiev decision to cancel presidential elections amid conflict. So we have democracy reigning supreme over the fine land of Ukraine, where they will not be holding elections. Doesn't really matter. All of Zelensky's political opposition are in jail or dead or run out of the country. So, you know, I don't know that there would be anybody left to vote for. Smoke has been bad in West Virginia. Hi, the branch. Don't think I've been here before, but it's been a while. How you doing? Last few days bad? Yeah. That's terrible. You fighting again, Toth? Dogma after dogma. Oh, goodness. We're having a good fight here. Oh, you're awesome. That was excellent, Morgan. That's wisdom. Hey, Emmett, how you doing? Good to see you. So, yeah, we're on to Ukraine here. They consider us swine, yeah. That's all right, Edna. Yeah, you ain't leaving, Emmett. So that's an interesting turn of events. We're defending democracy in a country that's suspending democracy. Going to spend billions on that, so that'll be fun for us. They come to snuff the rooster. You were just reading about Ukraine, yeah. So, you know, they've got that general over in Belarus. he was exiled. Now, if he doesn't end up dead in the next few weeks or so, yeah, I did like the banana song. Check warrants 24/7 every day for news. Nice. To help get that could be the branch. That would be a good possibility. We also have a lot of graphite deposits as well. But I believe the lithium is most of it's over by the Picton Farm, where they found 27 or 30 bodies. It's where the police and all the politicians used to party. Picton Farm. Check it out. Stayed up late and finished the internet? Nice. Yeah, and those fires, they're in the States too. For a while, they just stopped at the Canadian border pretty much. But now it looks like they're making their way down to the States a little bit. Great bunches of bananas. Right? Scientists say the Canadian wildfires are due to all the oil and gas industry climate change. Absolutely. Because it's been, unusually cool and actually not overly damp, but relatively damp. Those fresh shoots with all that juicy water in them, they love to burst into flames. But one thing we haven't been doing, Toth, is we haven't been clearing the underbrush as well as we should have. What they usually do is control burns or they clear the underbrush. And that hasn't been being done, especially in the U.S. You guys pretty much completely abandoned it. And that's why a few years ago, yeah, it has. It's usually a lot warmer than this. We just hit like 24 degrees. And by July, we've had it colder as well, much, much colder. It varies a lot in Canada. So, but yeah, the fires are all over the place. Toth has no video. I know, he's just a troll. But they've got those nukes that the tactical nukes that Russia put into Belarus that are still available. And you think about it, if it was an ultimate ruse, if Putin was smart and they approached that guy that ran the Wagner group, and they said, "We want you to start agitating in Russia." He says, "Oh, okay, we're just a contract group. What do you want us to do? Give us the money," right? So he may have turned coat on the West. And some people are starting to say, and I've heard some reports unconfirmed, that the U.S. did spend the money, that 10 billion, I think it went missing a little while ago. No, it wouldn't, Toth. That accounting error that they had just a while ago probably went to the Wagner Group, 6 or 10 billion. What was that? Europe does a great job at forestry. Yeah, they do. We used to. We used to take care of our forests quite well, and we usually do. But through the Trudeau government, I think the funding's been kind of slashed for that. So if you haven't got the money, it's harder to do controlled burns and doing cleanup and stuff, like cleaning up the trails and shit. But the start of the fire was ultimately suspicious, and they already have arrested people for arson, for starting the wildfires, many of them. Many different men and women. Reports of people dressed like Antifa. Doesn't make them Antifa, but you kind of get the point. Yeah, apparently everybody is in the groove. You're just one of the crowd. Well, you're one of us now, Indy. Hi, D Ocean. Good to see you. A lot of controlled burns in France. Yeah. Yeah, they're still protesting in the cities in France. I don't know, ask Toth. Let's see, where are we here? Oh, yeah. So here we have gay activist against gender ideology for kids arrested after North Vancouver overpass rally.
Has brought you report after report at stopclassroomgrooming.com about sexual indoctrination happening to kids in schools. And this time I bring you a report of a prominent activist who opposes that. His name is Christopher Maya, and he's 16 out in jail after being arrested of his activism.
LGBTQ, and I can't believe that I'm here, a gay man, being charged for theft of a rainbow progressive flag. I see it as a hate symbol. I didn't steal anything. I took down a hate symbol.
All right, Christopher. Now, people who have been following this whole fight against the sexual indoctrination of children, especially in BC schools, might have seen you before. We've seen you getting roughed up just by peacefully protesting with a sign, Gays Against Groomer, by some Antifa-like thugs before. We've seen you probably most popularly on the overpass in North Van. And now we're interviewing you in front of the North Van RCMP office because you spent 16 hours in jail. Tell us what happened.
Well, on Thursday after the overpass rally, I was walking from the overpass with Errol and parked a couple blocks away because I was just worried that maybe Antifa was around since Stephanie was in the neighborhood. So I was approaching back
Right.
to my vehicle. I noticed an RCMP vehicle higher up on the street. And I said to Errol, oh, that's funny, RCMP are there. I got out my phone. I put my Facebook Live on to document the incident. And sure enough, the RCMP, they started driving down the hill. And I didn't realize as I turned behind me, there's also two RCMP behind me. At that point, I'm handing my phone to Errol. And the police come to arrest me and say I'm under arrest for theft and mischief.
Under arrest for mischief and theft.
Mischief and theft. Oh, great. Want to take this, Errol? Take it.
That's for what? I need your cell phone, sir. It's part of my investigation.
No, take it. Okay. I do not comply.
I love that guy.
I do not comply. I do not comply.
That's
And if I don't?
property, you're going to be under arrest for obstruction.
No, for sake. Unbelievable.
Yeah. Okay. So, like I said, that phone was with him in his pocket. It's his property. So we're going to need that phone because that needs to go with him. Okay. So if you don't give us that phone, you're going to be under arrest for obstruction. Okay. Thank you.
Don't thank me.
Now we'll get back to what's going on now that you've been released and what it was like in there. But you mentioned a name, Stephanie, that probably needs some introduction for some. You're seeing her on the screen. I call her an Antifa queen of sorts because when she's around, often are Antifa thug-like characters. Yet for some reason, the state preferred media keeps interviewing her as though she's a pillar of love and peace for the LGBTQ community. The timing of your arrest isn't lost on me because it happens to be the late afternoon of the same day where earlier in that morning there was a media interview with Stephanie and then a statement from the RCMP. Let's start with some of that interview.
If we force injection, we have to make sure that doing so does not infringe on anybody's charter rights.
Queer and trans people have rights as well. Charter rights are for everyone in Canada.
In a statement, the ministry said it wants the RCMP to act. Quote, enforcement of the order is the responsibility of the police. We continue to ask the police to act on the injunction to provide for the safety of the traveling public.
The police need to enforce it, and they're failing queer and trans people by failing to enforce it.
The RCMP is basically opposing, radical sexual indoctrination in schools doesn't align with the RCMP's, but there is a right to protest. But again, to me, it's interesting that all of this, although they say we can't exactly punish you guys for protesting on there and, of course, switching the location, you ended up arrested for something that may or may not have happened earlier. What can you tell us about that incident?
Okay, so the reason for my arrest, according to the police, the allegations was that there's a video of the Lower Lonsdale Quay, the big Q sign at the flag point. They've got the Canadian flag, the progressive rainbow one, which I call progressive, and then another Canadian flag. So what's in the video is basically a ladder leaning on the flagpole at Lonsdale Quay, and then the image of the progressive pride flag on the ground.
So these images were put up by a group called Community Over Convoys, which again, Stephanie is heavily involved in. So we've seen this type of activism, if you will, happen before, and rather than a hate crime or something like that. Why do you think that's the case?
I don't think it's the case. I mean, I know what I've done, and it's a trumped up charge. The flag, this progressive rainbow flag, it's, if you really study it, what it means, why is it everywhere? It just frustrates the LGBTQ community, and I can't. I'm here, gay man, being charged for theft of a rainbow progressive flag. I see it as a hate symbol. I didn't steal anything, took down a hate symbol.
I like that language.
That divides people. It's not about inclusivity. It's actually about separating people and preventing people from coming together, and real unity and diversity.
Well, that symbol is one of a handful of flags that are in front of this RCMP building. No surprise, actually, the RCMP's side on this issue. Just recently, you can see footage here on the screen of them having a strip dance or a drag queen performance on tables, exactly where you want taxpayer dollars to go. Now, one of the things here we saw in the video we've shown here is that they did seize your phone. They said they did so for investigation. That is something that officers can do in this situation. While we were here today, you went inside to get your phone. What can you tell us about that?
So we just tried to go inside to get my phone back, saying it was a legal seizure. He went away with my number, come back, and basically just saying it's still part of their investigation, after court or whatever. So they're not giving me back my phone.
Well, we'll keep following up on this story, but what can you tell us about what's next? Do you have a lawyer? Do you have a court case coming up?
Yes, so I don't currently have a lawyer. I'm looking for a lawyer. My court date here in North Van is July 13th.
And how are you feeling about that?
I'm looking
so this man is asking that they
tell the world what's really going on.
Not put.
And you mentioned something about your phone.
Grooming into schools about sexuality. They've never done sexual training in schools, and they really shouldn't. But this young man is calling it, I like his language, that he calls it a hate speech, that he sees the flag as hate speech. Because it is. It's meant to separate. All of these things, all of these movements, they're all meant to separate. All people are asking is that they keep it out of school, out of the schools, and that's really not a big problem. No doubt. A sane gay man. I dig it. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly, Lucky. Once they force you to accept their beliefs, it infringes on everyone, right? Yeah, and in Canada, we now have controlled language, which is, people don't seem to understand that once you get these laws put in, they're going to eventually turn back on you. There's nothing wrong with being hungry. Yeah, I had no idea. I found out much later that they were okay. Shows the whole right-wing propaganda stuff does the same thing. Exactly. Anything that's meant to divide us. There was the Judge Ketanji Brown. She did a speech or put out a tweet or some message recently, because in the States they've dropped the Equal Rights Bill, I think it is. I think it's the Equal Rights Bill has been dropped, where in schooling people would get bonuses for being of certain ethnicities and colors and things like that. And that's been dropped from your system, from your scholastic system. And she said the most, her little speech, I wish I had saved it. It was ridiculous. She was basically calling for division and saying division is racism. I don't know. She was just all over the place with what she was saying. For a Supreme Court justice or judge, she really doesn't make much sense. She sat there and contradicted herself, stepped on her own feet in her own sentences, trying to somehow come against the idea of everyone being treated equal as racist. So, because now there are no benefits for diversity or anything like that, she's afraid that everyone will be racist or everyone will be treated equal. I don't know. I prayed for two. I want to see two. What's that? Oh, yeah. That's right. Disturbing others' indoctrination is wrong and intrusive to a criminal degree. The extremes shackle us with their solutions. Yes, exactly. We go one extreme to the other, and they use that swing of extremes to pin you down a little bit more and a little bit more. All right, guys, stop insulting each other. That's just ridiculous. Lifts and Separates, one of my vocal teachers, was married to the famous lady in the bra commercial. Affirmative action, that's what it's called? Affirmative action, yeah. So that has ended. There was also a statement put out by Judge Jackson, I think, also a black judge. They're trying to get him off the Supreme Court. But his response was rather intelligent and well crafted, like you would expect a Supreme Court judge. He cited your Constitution and how that all men are created equal, and the other lady just kind of went on her emotions and said she was mad. Oh, that's easy, beloved. So you one cup honey to 3 cups or 3 parts water, and then that would be about a half a teaspoon of yeast powder to that. But you can do it in like a gallon size, any size you want. But it's 3 parts water to 1 part honey, and then whatever spices you want, a whole bunch of cloves, apple. A friend of mine was going to try, what is it? I forget what he's going to try. Something like mango. But yeah, I'm going to start some up tonight. Thanks for reminding me. Jane Russell? Don't know who that is. Right in the kisser, eh, Indy? Yeah, it's pretty easy, beloved. Takes about 2 weeks. I like it after the first week. Tastes pretty good, and it's not got a lot of alcohol in it, but it's still bubbly. And I tried it with bread yeast. It works just as well. Yeah, remember it's changing policy or polis with that constant right-left swing, taking all the power they can, changing policy, yet they are to uphold it. That's their problem. Yeah, exactly. I do use brewer's yeast now. I went and got some brewer's yeast. You can go to like a wine store or even a brewing store and get some. And it's available online. Yeah, my parents did too when I was a kid. They used to make gallons and gallons of wine. He just named the what? He just renamed the Fourth Reich Public Relations. Yeah, yeast infections don't count. No. Yeah, but it's pretty easy. Works really well. So let's do a smudge. Hope some of this information will remind you guys. Maybe you'll talk about it to somebody. Maybe somebody new will see this broadcast. Not likely though, because we're in a kind of an echo chamber. But you never know. I was suggested once. It happened. So again, this smudge is to add to the wildfires. Sending that smoke around the world, hopefully to wake people up, make them realize they've been lied to and deceived. Hopefully inspire them to take some action and make some change. Oh, and thank you for that rain you gave us, Deocean. I know you wished rain to come. Hi, Kat. Good to see you. How you doing? Well, yeah, us too, Squirrel. Oh, good to see you. Oh, Spin, yeah. One guy fine-tuned it. He made a dinner wine that was really good. Nice. Yeast, ye beast. Yeah. Yep, and tricks to sell more stuff no one needs. Absolutely. Yeah, grab that smudge stick there, curious squirrel. And yeah, I'm up in on southern Ontario, so I'm just across the lake from you. We could use some more rain there, Deocean. We had a couple of torrential downpours for minutes. It's not enough to saturate or stop the fires, so send more, please. Right, Spartan? Thank you. You're in a hot void all day? Yeah, it's smoky here today, Kat. It's pretty smoky. Not just because I'm smoking either. But yeah, there's supposed to be. I can't see south of the landscape. I'm supposed to see You think you discard terrible. We're in the midst of it, unfortunately. Hello, Elderberry. How are you? Well, the truth is you see it, Toth. It's not necessarily the truth, and what most of the stuff you talk about are theories. So, truth is kind of a subjective thing. Subjective on what you've learned, what you've seen, and what you can conceive of. No to little audio. You're kidding. Well, this is as loud as I can get it. No, it hasn't. It's still a theory. There's lots of questions with, oh my goodness. More theories. Yeah, we'd love. Yeah, send some thunder beings. They don't play. Well, not the thunder beings, because they could start the fires. They are kind of are now, Cat. Apparently, I have no proof of that, but apparently they are now trying to put them out. I don't know if that's happening or not, though. Apparently, some crews have come up from the U.S. to help us as well, right? Blowing smoke, right, Isabella? Yeah, that's fine. A bunch of paid people that get paid to go with that ideology put out a bunch of papers that agree with that ideology. That's all that is, Todd. They're paid to agree with it, so of course they agree with it. If they don't agree with it, they don't get their money. And that's how science works. Don't worry, they won't start throwing random bolts. Awesome. Okay, guys, I think that's all we've got for today. We'll catch you in class tonight, and hopefully for chat tomorrow. Epigenetics, yeah. It is. That is kind of an adaptation. I don't know that you'd call it. I don't know that you're going to get an entire new species out of that, but you might get a different, maybe a purple man. Maybe we'll turn purple. That'd be cool. Russia used nuclear blast to extinguish large fires. Yeah, James, and they can use sound as well. Right, Indy? All right, guys. Till later or tomorrow. Much love to you all. Keep that third eye open. Use your intelligence and your intuition. And don't believe everything the scientific world tells you. Until next time. Bye-bye.